Well, technically there are none. When you're starting out as an editor, obviously you're going to take whatever work you can get. But then as you start sort of climbing the ranks and you feel like you're getting better and better, more experienced, and more clients are starting to hit you up, you feel like you're at a point where you can start picking the niche that you want to work in, right? And stick with it throughout your entire career. However, just picking one niche and sticking with it is going to restrict you your entire career. I'd understand if the goal for your editing career is to just reach a certain client, like your dream client. If you want to work with them, if that's your goal, if you want to get a full-time job with them, then I'd understand if you were to continue working in that niche so you can build a portfolio for yourself. However, I'm seeing a lot of people picking one niche for the sake of doing certain animations, or picking one niche for the sake of a certain income that they believe they're going to get out of this. However, people seem to think that the finance niche is the one that pays the most. Every single time when I'm scrolling Twitter, I'm always going to see some new editor, posting their work, some sort of shorts maybe, and they're always working for some sort of finance channel, where they just sit down at the desk, like sort of like this, where they're just picking up some sort of mic and just yapping into the camera about money stuff, and then they'll have the green text and whatever, right? But they'll always pay the lowest, and they'll always hire the newest and inexperienced editors because they pay the least. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is dannyrio. I've worked with some of the biggest creators in the world, okay, along the lines of Nico Milana and Sharky, that both are in the beta squad. I've accumulated tens of millions of long form views across my entire portfolio, and I've been working for about 3 years or so, and now I just spend my time helping editors reach their goals. You'll eventually see that the gaming creators and then probably like kids channels will pay the best. But that doesn't mean that you should just go and stick with them and go work with them for the rest of your career. It's not necessarily the niches you should be looking into, but rather the clients. Like, what sorts of creators are you supposed to be reaching out to? And out of all of the creators that are inbound and sort of reaching out to you, which of them should you be working with? For example, the football niche is known to be low paying, right? It has this sort of stigma where it's low paying, whether they're playing FIFA or they're going out and actually playing football, or they're on the street asking people random trivia questions about football, right? People seem to think that it pays the least, but there's still a fair few creators that are paying well within that niche, okay? Simply because they are doing well and they are doing better and they are bigger, smarter, and simply just they love their job more, right? They're paying more and they're further ahead than the others. So you should be looking into the sort of creators you want to work with rather than what sorts of niche you want to be working in. Every single client, they'll work in a certain niche, but they'll all have their demands, right? They'll all have their editing needs and demands. So there's a few Discord servers in which editors will, congregate and talk and yap about editing and whatnot, right? And in one of them, I saw this editor was talking about a niche that he wants to pick and the reason why he picked his niche, and a story about the difference between him and his friend who work in different niches. And he said one time that he had a client willing to pay him $500 for a video, and he reached out to him specifically. However, this editor said no thank you and passed him along to his friend, all because he labeled himself as a finance editor rather than a gaming editor. $500 is a lot of money. It doesn't matter what your prices are, $500 is a lot of money, right? And I thought that was so ridiculous in so many ways. But first, I want to talk about this sort of labeling thing where you label yourself as a certain editor. I've seen editors who actually have this in their Twitter bio, or they have this in their Discord bio, where they'll actually label themselves as a talking head editor. So if you're anything else and you DM them, then they're not going to work with you, which I think is, it's just mind-bogglingly stupid how you can say that to somebody. Somebody's offering you work, then you just politely decline them. You don't tell them not to DM you because you're a certain type of editor, right? That's very arrogant. And second of all, you're losing a lot of clients. And third of all, for some reason, you think that this will be best for you and this only. So that if there's any time you'd want to switch niches onto something else, you're not going to be able to because you've turned down so many other good clients for the sake of you keeping your rep as a talking head or finance editor. They think that it'll be super cool to work with like these sorts of high paying clients, that work in money, they'll learn more and they'll become this sort of entrepreneur. I've noticed within the past year, maybe a bit less, this sort of common theme amongst editors, like new editors specifically, right? Where they'll be working with these sorts of finance niche creators and they'll start using these buzzwords. Every single time they'll talk to another editor about something, right? They're always going to use these sort of buzzwords by following this sort of sheepish mindset, treating editing like it's some sort of B2B business where you help your clients gain leads through organic content, helping them scale their business through your video editing agency. Maybe you won't think to do it, right? Maybe you'll think you'll just be a regular editor, but then down the line, you'll gain these sorts of Twitter followers, ego will go straight into your head, and now you'll start an agency and then it'll flop, and then you'll be completely humbled by the sort of little progress you made in this sort of large time frame. This sort of mindset is rotting editors' brains because they're going to start treating it like a business. And sure, it is, right? It's a freelance business. I'd understand that. But then you're going to start limiting yourself. You'll start focusing on all the sort of businessy terms, so that the second you get like burnt out or something, you'll have no idea what to do. The second you get into creativity issues, you'll have no idea what to do. You're going to be capped at a certain rates that you can start charging all your videos, because you're going to edit in one certain way, the same style, the same sort of fucking Iman Gadzi style. You're never going to progress. You're never going to reach like $1,000, $2,000 per video, because the people that get those sorts of videos are the people that treat it like it's a creative output. They treat it with full creative direction rather than like a business. Picking any niche and sticking with this sort of mentality is going to ruin you. Even with me, I don't stick to a niche. Despite having worked with my dream creators, my dream clients, I don't pick a niche, okay? I work with whatever I can or whatever I want, or whoever that comes through, right? If I think they're good, if I think they're fun, if I think it has some sort of creative potential, then I'll take the video. Nowadays, when I look for a video, I rather look at the sort of potential of the video, what I can make out of it, if I can have fun with it, if it's a nice project, rather than the sort of price that it's gonna come with it. Believe me, I've been at the point where you would want to scale so desperately that you'll take whatever you can. And the second you start taking these sorts of higher paying clients, they're going to drive you into the ground, because you're going to be forced to do the same thing over and over and over, to the point where you'll be so demotivated and so bored and almost burnt out with just what you do for a living, right? So the second you get demotivated, you'll have no idea what to do, because instead of broadening your mindset and thinking, is there anything else that I could do, right? Is there anything else that would be fun, anything creative, anything that would make me learn more, become a better editor, right? No. You decided to stick with one niche, do the same style over and over again, and now you're bored, you're demotivated, you're burnt out. You have no idea what to do, right? You have no idea how to solve this. The biggest editors, they'll always treat their job like it's actually editing, like it's actually a creative outlet. They won't treat it like it's some sort of business, right? They don't need to use all these sorts of fancy buzzwords that comes with the job. They don't need to use all those buzzwords that I used earlier, right? Because they know they're good. They know that whatever they take on, they'll take on because it's fun, because it's a creative outlet. They know they're going to get paid well at the end of the day. They know they're going to be happy with it, right? They'll go through all that sort of client negotiation, but they don't have to go out of their way to show other editors that they're good at their job, right? They don't have to talk the talk. They can walk the walk. And if you haven't heard of that phrase, it's very common. It essentially just means your work does the talking for you, right? You don't need to talk about it all the time, right? Maybe if you haven't heard of it, smallest dog that barks the loudest, right? The small dog, the small guy, the little guy, he's always talking about how great his job is and how great he is at his job. And he tries to show others how to do it all the time. He doesn't actually get any results, right? He has nothing to show for it. Okay, you look at his editing and it's bad, right? It's just objectively bad editing. Do you want to be that small dog? Do you want to be that small dog that always talks about how good he is at his job and how he picks one niche and how he's good at it, right? Or do you want to be the top dog, right? Do you want to be that big dog, right? Who doesn't have to talk, he doesn't have to do anything, because editors will look at him and they'll respect him because he actually treats his editing like it's editing and makes good work. Right? He makes good videos, he knows how his job is done, and he does it properly. Little dog right here, like tiny little sausage dog, who does nothing but yappa about his work all the time, okay? Talking about his leads, organic content, scaling a business, all this bullshit yappa like I said earlier, and never gets the results that he wants, because he thinks he knows it all. He'll stick to the one niche. He thinks he's too arrogant to actually learn more. You never stop learning, right? Don't think that you come to some sort of point and you just stop learning, because you never stop learning. Even I keep learning to this day. I'm always learning something new, right? You never, ever should have this sort of arrogant mindset where you think you shouldn't have to move or change niches or change up your style or change up anything, right? Even if you do purposefully stick to it, one day you're gonna get burnt out. One day you're gonna get demotivated. And you're gonna regret it. You're gonna hate it. And you won't know how to get out of it, because your entire portfolio is the same thing. No one's gonna hire you to do anything else, because no one can trust that you'll change up. There's no proof of you changing up your style. There's no proof of you thinking differently. So why should, from all of a sudden, a creator decide to hire you, right? You have no idea what to do. You'll be stuck. Don't stick to one niche. Work with whatever. Learn new stuff, right? Take on a bunch of different work from all these different niches, right? And then add everything that you learn into this sort of one style that you constantly evolve and constantly progress and make better and upgrade, right? So that's how you start learning. That's how you enjoy your editing. And if you think that one niche is fine, specifically for you finance editors who do everything I've just said, I'm talking to you mostly, right? There's a lot of editors who will stick to one niche, with whether it's gaming or whether it's this or that or this or that. right? They think there's nothing else better for them. This is for you too, but mostly for those finance editors. Don't think that you're at the very top, because believe me, I've been there, where you think you're the biggest of big editors, you think you're the best, but you're not. Never have that sort of arrogant mentality where you think finance is the best paying and it's the best for editors and you learn the best and you become like this big entrepreneur businessman, right? Because there's a lot more out there for you to learn. I hope you took something from this. Even for those editors who, you know, work in different niches because they want to do the same thing, right? I hope this actually stuck with you so you know to never actually settle down on one niche. I don't understand if your entire goal for this entire journey and your entire editing career is to work with like one specific creator. Right? I don't understand that, right? I get it. But if your intention is otherwise, okay, if your life goal, if your life purpose isn't to work with this one guy and work full time with him forever, right? Listen to this video, okay, because you're gonna need it. But yeah, good luck. I believe in you, bro, and peace.